We see Liquid Chef, our lovely purple Zerg, spawning on the left top side of the map. And on the bottom side of the map, we have White Raw, our red Protoss.
Yes, sir. You are correct. And we've seen a couple of decent games on Ohana. My favorite ZVP we've seen here was the one between Noni and Dark Force, where Noni really showed some excellent zoning and control with his mothership. But we could maybe argue that Dark Force made a couple mistakes that game that allowed for that comeback to happen.
True. And we also saw Vibe vs Mana on Ohana. Ohana's probably been my favorite map so far in this season, man. We've really seen the best games on it, so definitely don't mind watching these two guys go at it. I love this, by the way, in the start of the game. Sheth is like, man, that was an awesome game. Let's have one more. And the other player in the world would say, like, no, I want to win, sir. I want to win 2-0. White is like, yeah, let's go 2-1. 2-1 either way. It's all good, man.
So much love for those guys. Yeah, they're both. We've hung out with White Raw. It feels like a lot. In
Whoa, Sheth, what are you doing?
What?
Wow, that's something I've never seen. Like, actually a pro player pulling every single drone, and the worst part is not even getting the probe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon to see 4 drones come off and try to do it, but all of them is.
This kind of gives me the feeling that Sheth wants to go hedge first. But now he's perhaps not going to do it. I think if he would surround that probe and pick it off straight away, then he would just go hedge first. That's the only explanation I have for this. But then I would still never ever do it like Sheth just did. That costs money, man.
It did cost money. Maybe as much as 100 minerals. That was a lot of lost mining time, and then the drones had to get back to work and do all that jazz. So.
Little bit surprised that White Raw goes for a Forge first right now. Maybe he was a little bit paranoid about Sheth pulling all those drones as well, because maybe he thinks right now that Sheth wants to hide something, maybe a bailing bust. Because normally against a 14 or 15 pool, even such a late pool on such a big map, why not go Nexus into Forge? Like he did on Daybreak.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't see a gas. I think he could have gotten away with Nexus first, but he's just playing extra safe. Or maybe he has some devious cannon plans, I don't know, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
It's too late for that. Spawning pool is up already. He's going to cancel this pylon. He might just do it one more time. But here we can see Sheth just expanding on the right side of the map. I just feel that, like in the old days, like on small maps where Zergs were really forced, like, okay, this is your natural, and then if you have a little bit of map control, you can expand over there. The maps right now have become so much bigger that I just feel that it's almost useless trying to block naturals, because Zergs can just expand whatever they want. And if you want to block this one too, Zerg can just expand over here. It really doesn't change that much. And Protoss has to be really careful, because investing 100 minerals, maybe even 150 for a cannon, is actually something that can really put you far back into the game. Or far behind in the game.
Yes. It definitely adds up over time. Sheth still hasn't taken his natural. Okay, now he's going to go do that. All right, never mind. So very standard ZVP shaping up here.
I love how you said that. It's like 4 minutes, 20 seconds in the game. Like, Zerg is not on 3 base yet. This is something weird, man. We're going to see some sick cheese.
Well, for a second I was thinking maybe something like Snoot likes to do, but no, Sheth did go take that 3rd base, and it is just going to be much like at least the first 4 minutes of the last game. We'll see if White Raw once again tries a 6-minute third. I don't think he could get away with it on Ohana.
This is
way too open.
Yeah, you need more than 5 gates for this, and you still have to worry about your ramp as well, because this is not very nice to defend, I guess. I don't know, maybe he could do it, because then again, like I guess this is nicer than on Daybreak, because Daybreak is A, further away from your base, and B, a little bit wider. But then again, this is always kind of funky, because most of your units are going to be over here, so you will still have a lot of stalkers on your ramp, and you might end up losing your Cybernetics core or your gate or your Forge, so you rather don't take too many risks. And we see White Raw going for the Stargate, so
interesting.
He's playing different.
5 minutes. Placement on that Stargate right up there in the front. This Overlord of Sheth in the back of White Raw's base, probably not going to spot that.
Something I always like to keep track on is like what is the exact timing of a Stargate when they play with 2 base against Zerg. Like what is something you can still get away with, what is a quick Stargate, what is a late Stargate. This was 5 minutes 30 seconds, which I think is pretty quick.
Probably going to be a Void Ray, followed by a couple of Phoenixes, but there's other ways to play Stargate. Orothi, I know you've got one that you prefer.
Not anymore, Ben. I don't prefer much these days. I'm a little bit down. Don't ask me about it. Normally I love to talk about my own games, but today I'm just a fan, Ben. A fan like everybody else.
Fair enough. I know the feeling.
I'm just that aspiring player hoping for that one promotion.
That one promotion. So White Raw is going to get that first Void Ray out, and with it he'll be able to poke around the map, take out the Zerglings on towers, and maybe kill a couple of Overlords. Sheth does have 2 Overlords that are way forward on the map. This one down in the corner is really interesting. Do you think you can land on this island down here in the corner?
Land? Oh, where are you?
Way in the bottom left.
Yeah, probably. You should be able to drop over here. Man, that's something we have to try. Alright, that's it.
Put like a pylon there in a base race and be like, "Sup, bro?"
You know, today, okay, since the action is not really kicking in yet, Sheth is going with a stalker and he's poking a little bit. Wants to pick up this queen, which he actually should be able to do because obviously it takes a long time for creep to connect these two bases, and he did not take out these rocks yet, so he will probably end up losing this queen to the Void Ray.
This is going to be huge, man. This Void Ray is going to do a ton of damage. It's going to take forever for Whiterod to get any sort of extra unit over there.
And actually the worst part for Sheth is that he doesn't have an evolution champion yet. If I were Whiterod, I would put this Void Ray just here and attack all these drones, make sure that he's not mining from this base.
That's exactly what he starts to do. He's going to get a couple of drone kills, then he can start working on the hatchery.
Maybe.
Sheth might even sack this hatchery. He's pulled back his reinforcing queen. And, ooh, this is a great opening for Whiterod. Wow, very unfortunate circumstances for Sheth.
Do you think actually he will be able to morph in to Spore Crawlers right below Void Ray?
If Whiterod's watching, then no.
No. Void Ray is watching. He's going to force a cancel.
No, doesn't even cancel, but a queen pops out, so that's a pretty good thing. Phoenix is going to lift up the queen that's trying to reinforce. The queen that popped out of the hatchery does manage to chase away. Where was the second Phoenix?
They are both attacking a queen, so Sheth does save this base, but he's losing a ton of mining time. And look at this, by the way. Both players still at 47 workers right now, so great harass by Whiterod.
Yeah, I still feel like he misplayed that a little bit. I think he could have killed 2 queens there. Or 2 more than he killed, I should say.
Yeah, there were 2 on the way, though. You think with 2?
Yeah, but they were off creep. They were off creep. If he'd have brought the Void Ray out and picked up both queens, I think he kills them both.
Yeah, maybe. But then yeah. No, you might have been right. It's hard to say. Because Gravity Beam doesn't last that long. And as soon as the queens are on the ground, they do a lot more damage than a single Void Ray.
That is very true. Whiterod does manage to spot an Overlord down at the very bottom of the map, which he's going to pick off with his Phoenixes as he continues to posture up. He's throwing down a robotics base, so we might be seeing a little bit of 2-base Colossus play.
He just barely missed. And I think knowing Whiterod and knowing this map, like I actually think that right now he feels pretty safe in taking a third Nexus after all. So I think that's what we are going to see. But maybe you are right, Ben. But I think he's just going to try to take another base soon. And
that would make a lot of sense too. He definitely slowed down Sheth. Sheth's dropping a Hydralisk Dim.
And 5 Spore Crawlers. Maybe he's a little bit paranoid right now by all these screens. But this is just going so extremely good for Whiterod. He's going to pick off 1 more queen. He's forcing so many spores.
Pull your Void Ray, Whiterod!
He's going to take it! Oh, standoff. I love it. That's pretty epic.
That was interesting. I don't think that was a good trade. Void Ray for a Spore Crawler.
No, but
he's forced, like you said, so many spores. Sheth has really invested in this anti-air defense.
Yeah, now even going Hydralisk.
Yeah.
I love this, by the way. Sheth dropping a little bit of creep. He's going to delay this Nexus just a little bit longer. And Whiterod had a lot of money, 900 minerals, so he could have basically dropped this Nexus quite a bit before this.
Yep, creep does take forever to receive, so.
But this is going so well for Whiterod. I think let's take a look at Unit's lost resources, man. It's 1600 against 500, which is big, but that's actually. This can be standard. If you pull off a good Phoenix harass, this can be standard. However, Sheth never really had a high drone count, and that is the biggest problem right now. Normally, when you see statistics like that, if Zerg is at 70 drones, they are completely okay with that. Right now, Sheth at 48, there's no way that he can be happy with the state of the game.
I have to agree with you there, Kev. Whiterod's first Colossi are on the way out. He's getting Thermal Lance. He's adding Gateways and also his Twilight Council. Things are shaping up nicely. Sheth starting to push forward with some Roach Hydra, but I'm not even convinced that this is enough to break this third.
Nowhere near enough, man. There's the first Colossus is on the map, second Colossus is on the way, Thermal Lance is more than halfway done. There's no way that Sheth is going to be able to get aggressive, and that makes it even a bigger waste, having this many units, 19 Roaches and 8 Hydras. There's no way he's going to be able to break Whiterod. Whiterod is playing fantastic.
He really is. Phoenix is still managing to do damage around the map, finding Overlords and things of that nature. And Sheth.
That's interesting. He's researching Ventral Sex right now, so maybe he feels that that's the only way he can get back into this game.
Big all-in drop all over the main base of Whiterod, take out the important tech and win that way.
But on the same moment, he's taking a 4th hatch over here on the right side of the map, so that kind of tells the complete opposite. I think Sheth is as confused as we are.
Sounds like it, as Phoenixes continue to harass. One of them goes down there. Infestation Pit on the way for Sheth, so he's kind of just rounding out everything. Look at the production tab for the Zerg player. Infestation Pit, Evo Chambers, upgrades galore, even adding a couple drones here and there. Phoenix is still working on that Queen.
Forcing 1 more Gravity Beam, but Whiterod will pick up that Queen as well. And you're right, Sheth is researching a ton of stuff, and That's even more questionable when you saw that he's was only at 49 workers. He's at 56 right now. He's still getting a couple of additional drones.
Phoenixes are stuck though. They're never gonna get out.
Oh, White.
Goose goes down, Kev.
Oh.
And so will the Iceman and Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise falls. Okay, that's bad. Wow, this was actually quite bad, by the way, Ben. Like, we kind of were joking around and making Top Gun references, but losing 4 Phoenixes for nothing. 4 Phoenixes is such a useful scouting tool.
It's a useful scouting tool. They're useful in a fight. They can lift Hydras. They can they can absorb damage. For example, if Corruptors are out, Corruptors want to auto-attack the Phoenixes. Or
just like whenever you're somewhere out of position and there are a few units you're annoyed with, you can always send those Phoenixes. 4 Phoenix. That's yeah, it was pretty careless by Whitera, who so far played an absolutely fantastic game. Yeah, that was a little bit sloppy.
Makes the resources lost look a lot closer.
Yeah. Phoenix is so expensive, man.
Sheth's already getting his hive, so he's going to move right up towards Broodlords. And
D-Day is coming.
Drop, man. And is Whitera going to see this? If he had Phoenixes out, probably he would. But when he's blind like this.
But I mean, do you really think Sheth wants to sacrifice all these units? Sure, he will be able to take out quite a few buildings.
Man, Whiterah's so out of position.
And he's going for a little bit of multi-prong aggression. I'm loving it. If Sheth pulls this off, that would be miraculous.
We're going to see. Whiterah does manage to find these units out in the middle of the map, and he's going to blink forward on top of these roaches and do some nice damage here. That's definitely a small victory for Whiterah, but at the same time, Drop going to be unloading in the main base, and Whiterah is way too far out of position to have any hopes of dealing with this.
Yeah, and he's going to wipe in 6 Stalkers, but those Stalkers are going to fall straight away, so Whiterah is going to have to abandon this ship. However, he's marching forward towards Sheth is natural, and there is no way that Sheth can pump out an army that's capable of dealing with this.
I like what Whiterah is doing. He's going right up into the main base. He's going to take out the heart of Sheth's infrastructure so that he can't make more units. If you kill the Roach Warren, well, you can't make roaches. And so while Whiterah's taking huge damage, he's going to lose his main. He's dealing huge damage in the same movement.
Yeah, Sheth is still up in supply, but that's actually kind of a mistelling fact. Meanwhile, this Colossus is taking a ton of damage from both these Spore Crawlers.
Whiterah sees it. Micros are back at the last second.
Oh, I like this by Sheth. He's going to pick up some units, quite some drones as well, so he's going to try to get those drones out. Will Whiterah intercept this?
Blinks over. Yes. One Overlord down. Second one also going to fall. Two of them get out of there. But here goes all of Sheth's tech, Kevin. He's not going to have a spawning pool. He's not going to be able to build anything at all. This is really, really brutal. Devastating loss in the main base of Sheth.
Sheth is just going to leave a couple of units behind. Meanwhile, he's going to try to break this third base as well. There's only a single cannon, so he should be fine. But the DPS of this army is just nowhere near the DPS of this army.
Man, this is turning into a sick game as well. A bit of a base race. Whiterah cleaning up the tech in the main as he walks over to the third base of Sheth. Sheth has unloaded those drones, and he's going to start building extractors around the map. He's in base race mode. Whiterah making the same judgment, pulling out all of his probes and sending them up towards his army.
Whiterah has only 13 probes left though. That's really not that many. Sheth has a ton of drones left. Important though, both these guys have money for new bases, so that's something we might actually see. I'm a little bit surprised that Whiterah only left 3 Zealots behind. This really takes like 2 volleys to take out with his entire army.
And it's allowing Sheth to build units. I don't know if those units are ever going to amount to much. Oh, a lot of drones getting caught there by Whiterah.
Beautiful blink right there. Makes sure that he picks up the remaining process as well. Whiterah is losing a few additional units. Take a look at army supply. 69, 67 for Sheth, 80 for Whiterah. Whiterah is actually just going to try to pick up units with blink stalkers right now, but he has to be careful.
What a sick base race that's unfolding right now. Sheth trying to build a spawning pool. That's not going to happen. He's going to have to cancel that or lose it one. Meanwhile, the main base of Whiterah getting completely ransacked. The Zealots over in Sheth's main have finally cleaned up all of the tech. And the only thing remaining for Sheth, 1 building hatchery and a handful of extractors.
The problem is Sheth, you could say, is pretty much trapped. If Whiterah leaves a few stalkers over here, he could potentially intercept those
well, he can drop. He can load them up and leave.
Yeah, but where? Where's he going to fly to?
Okay, I see what you mean. Well, the little corner that we talked about. He needs to drop a drone there.
Well, how sick would it be if actually this game has an island spawning pool? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure you can't land there.
Look at these billies.
Yep, a couple guys do end up evacuating. So, I mean, the race is still on. Whiterah's just hunting for Sheth's final bases, and it's a question of who's going to be able to...
I mean, drop is really useful right now, but I still rather have Muta Link than...
I agree. This is still a very slow army.
Well, Whiterah's going to lose these buildings. He does still have quite a few buildings left in his main base. More importantly, Whiterah actually still has a Nexus. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, and he's building another one down in his natural 3rd expansion. Sheth will march forward, pick off a... No, he's not going to pick off anything because he knows Whiterah's giving chase.
Blink Stalker's chasing you is pretty scary. I mean, this looks good for Hydra, however, he could still misplay this. Chef could potentially get something off. He has a lot of infestors with great energy.
Oh, Zealots have managed to sneak up on the back of this army, and now we're going to see a bit of a fight. Oh, good fungal goes down. Colossi can crush those force fields and continue marching forward. Sheth is trying to run for his life right now because he knows he can't win in a heads-up fight against that army.
If Chef would have Neuroparasite, he could.
Yeah.
With fungal,
unfortunately, he doesn't.
No, it's a very useless point. Right? No, but just like imagine Neuroparasite in this phase of the game.
It'd be nice. Take out the Colossi and then just let the rest of your army deal with the Stalkers.
Both these guys have, well, actually Chef has 12 drones left right now. Hydra has 7 probes left. Hydra is going to pick off one or two Hydras, but...
Oh, cute burrow by Chef.
Yeah. Does Hydra have an observer on the map? Hydra doesn't have an observer. That's actually something that Chef really could use.
He could take advantage of that. Oh no, losing an infestor, that's an expensive loss.
Oh, the Overlords are a little bit out of position.
Just burrow, Chef! Just burrow, Chef! It would work! What is he doesn't seem to realize it. He's going to lose every one of these units, and that is going to be curtains for Sheth. White-Ra, Alexi, holding it down, Kev. What do you think about that?
It's amazing. He's played so well. Chef is going to pick up a few Stalkers here. Doesn't want to give up yet. If only he knew that White-Ra didn't have detection.
And now it's clicking. He's like, oh.
And you know, Ben, I think that this kind of gave it away. Why out of all buildings do you really want to proxy a forge?
That's right. I wondered the same thing, and now it makes sense because White-Ra knew he didn't have detection.
I'm not sure if we have tunneling claws. We have burrow.
Yeah, they do. They have spikes on them. That means tunneling claws.
Oh, yes. So Chef could have really done something. Ooh, it loses one.
Yeah, really. Like that could have been the entire difference in the game. He could have burrowed around the main base and gone around and picked off things.
And that could have basically bought himself enough time. He's making 2 spawning pools now at once. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. Maybe it is. I mean, Chef is not giving up yet, Ben, and we shouldn't talk him out of it. Even though Hydra has a far superior army. He has 4 Colossus, but he only has 7 Stalkers left. And as soon as those Stalkers fall, Hydra is going to be really, really immobile.
Well, the real key is that White-Ra is mining, and he can't be attacked. So, like, all he has to do right now is find the bases of Sheth. He's found one. And he's going to pick off all the drones here before he worries about dealing with the spawning pool.
Blink Stalkers are king right now, man.
Sheth played great, but you nailed it when you said he made the mistake of not utilizing that burrow.
Slowly but steady, Hydra economy is recovering. He actually could just make 5 pylons right now in a robotics facility. Then he would be more than fine. Instead, he's going for a gate. Oh, he's going to pick off these 3 roaches from Chef. That's a really expensive loss. Chef was too busy dealing with these Stalkers, and I think that's really going to do it. Chef right now has 1 roach left.
Yep, it's 58 supply to 22. Sheth has to know that
this is the hero roach, man.
Yeah, that it's the beginning of the end. The Colossus manages to march over and accidentally scout the last base of Sheth. And with that, he taps out. GG, Sheth has left the game, and White-Ra takes it 2-0. How about them apples?
How do you like him, Ben? I really like him. Both of us predicted Chef to win. Hydra played nothing.
We were both wrong.
Hydra played fantastic. He really, really did. Maybe Chef like underreacted a little bit to the void ray, took too much damage, has stayed too low eco for a long time. On a certain moment, like I liked the drop idea, it wasn't that bad. But why would you get a void base and an infestation pit and infestors on the same moment? Like those things don't really add up.
You're kind of going 2 different routes with your decision making there.
Then again, it's really hard for us to like question the decision making of such an excellent player like Chef.
Yeah,
so
and you know, if White-Ra had reacted in any capacity differently to the drop, then it's a brilliant drop and it's won Chef the game. But the way White-Ra played it, just choosing to trade, turned out to be the right move. So.
Chef had such a low economy for such a long time. Anyway, what a great series, man. Probably the best series that we've casted so far. Or still Vibe versus Mana, but...
a couple of very exciting ZVPs.
These PVZs, man, it's just only for us.
It's been really awesome.
When we cast TVTs, both players just refuse to attack each other. But when we cast PVZs, the StarCraft gods know.
I'm sorry, I have the hardest time casting TVT. It's not for me, man.
I love it. I love it from time to time. I've had great TVTs.
I've seen some good ones too, but more often than not, I find myself zooming in on Marines
and the guy in the Mister
and talking about the Reapers. All right, guys. So that series was brought to you by Azo. Our next series will be Morrow versus Puzzle. So hurrah for that! Cannot wait to see how that one plays out. But before that, we're going to kick you to a very short commercial. Do not go anywhere. Lots more StarCraft 2 coming up after this.